The omnibus we all voted for is finally here. What's up, Organic Price Books family? Jake here with the Brave and the Boys doing another overview for you at the Organic Price Books channel. And today is the day. This is the X-Men Extinction Agenda Omnibus, which is just peak 90s X-Men goodness. Now, we're going to take you through why this book is so special, but we have to talk about it. Every year, Near Mint Condition, friend of the channels, does a vote where you can vote to make some, standard size or deluxe size hardcovers that have been out of print for years into a requested omnibus. And this was the vote that the community voted for, and they listened. So it's going to slot right in between X-Men by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee Volume 1 and X-Men by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee Volume 2. Is there anything more satisfying that we can finally say we have all of the Chris Claremont X-Men in omnibus format with peak 90s goodness? There is time travel shenanigans, there are giant ripped 90s bad guys, and there are the X-Men that you love. Let's jump into what makes this book so special. So let's dive into the X-Men Extinction Agenda Omnibus. Now, this omnibus is going to collect one of the most iconic and intense X-Men crossover events of the 80s and early 90s. Here you can see the table of contents, and boy, does this collect a lot. But this omnibus is literally made possible by each one of you who voted for it in the Marvel poll, and it's just a culmination of years of storytelling. So this first story you're going to see has to do with the Fantastic Four, and you'll see a certain Franklin Richards, but he looks a little more grown up. So there is definitely some time travel shenanigans. But let's talk first about what this is going to collect. So this does retail for $125, and it is on sale for $87, and you can get even $2 off that with code BRAVEBOYS, which will be linked down below. It is 984 pages, and the cover that you saw in this book is from X-Men number 62 by Jim Lee. Actually, both the standard and the DM were both done by Jim Lee, but I do love this standard cover. So let's talk first about the issues that it collects. It collects Uncanny X-Men 270 through 272, New Mutants 95 through 97, X-Factor 60 through 62, X-Men Annual 14 through 15, X-Men Spotlight on Starjammers 1 through 2, then material from the Fantastic Four Annual number 23, New Mutants Annual 6 through 7, X-Factor Annual 5 through 6, New Warriors Annual 1, Marvel Comics Presents 10 through 17, 24 through 32, 41, 43, and 48 through 49. It has Marvel Superheroes number 2 and 6 through 8, Marvel Holiday Special number 1, and lastly, Marvel Tales number 262. So let's talk about the big arcs this collects. One of the main ones you're going to see is Days of Futures Present. Now, you might recognize that name. It is the sequel to Days of Futures Past, featuring an older Franklin Richards traveling back from a dystopian future haunted by the mutant-killing Ahab. It's also notable for the early appearances of Gambit before his debut in Uncanny X-Men number 266. It's going to have the villain Cameron Hodge, once an ally in X-Factor. He's now a terrifying adversary leading an Genosha's assault on mutant kind. He's a symbol of betrayal and horror, manipulating Genosha's mutants and brainwashing key characters like Wolfsbane. It's going to have awesome art by legends such as Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, and Arthur Adams, who brings intense battles and emotional scenes to life. But I will say, if you are a completionist, note that Wolverine Days of Futures Past miniseries and issues from the Infernal Prologue Omnibus are not included. However, this book is a treasure trove of classic X-Men goodness that captures the heart of the era. So the Extinction Agenda Omnibus is a must-have for classic X-Men fans. So in this book, what you're going to see is the X-Men, long thought dead, have returned, but not without major consequences. Storm has been de-aged, and tensions are running high at the now overcrowded X-Mansion. The tensions are further amplified by the arrival of Cable, who has taken charge of the New Mutants. This uneasy alliance sets the stage for old enemy Cameron Hodge to strike. Hodge is now biomechanically enhanced and is deadlier than ever, with the full military power of the island nation of Genosha at his command. So Genosha is like notorious for branding and enslaving mutants, which is just a terrible thing, and Hodge leads a military assault on Xavier's school, capturing several mutants, including the DH Storm. So with that, you're going to have the X-Men, the X-Factor, and the New Mutants. They have to set aside their differences to launch a high-stakes rescue. Cyclops also faces a personal shock when he discovers that his own brother Havoc is one of the Genosha Magistries. As Hodge pulls the strings, our favorite mutants find themselves brainwashed, stripped of their powers, and forced into brutal combat where at least one of them will make the ultimate sacrifice. Now, lastly, this is going to have space adventures with the Starjammers, a race against time with the New Warriors to stop the resurrection of Protus, and lastly, Colosso's journey through American's heartland in the classic Gods County, plus a treasure trove of rare stories featuring Rogue, Sunfire, Siren, Freedom Force, and Gladiator of the Shahar Empire. It's comprehensive. Now let's jump into the extras. So lastly, I just want to say as we dive into these extras, to thank Organic Price Books for sending us this copy. If you do want to buy this, you can save $2 with the code BRAVEBOYS, or if you're buying 4 or more, you can save 5% with the code BRAVEBOYSSIT. Everything will be linked down below. Here you see that Wanted Dead or Alive poster. Here's that Wanted poster again. And yeah, this book, I mean, I need to read a lot of X-Men to truly understand what's going on, but if you love X-Men, this completes the run, and it is just a book that has to be in your collection. Go ahead and smash that like button, comment down below what books we should overview next, and keep reading and stay brave.